Very good evening, everyone. This is Rajendran here joining from Market Calls and welcome everyone to part two of the training session on trade automation using Amibroker and OpenAlgo. So in this specific session, we're going to discuss about primarily how to build a simple intraday trading strategy and how we can integrate with OpenAlgo. And of course, how I can automate and scanner module, particularly from an, let's say I want to do an equity intraday automation via scanners. I'm having portfolio of symbols, how to automate those things. So along with that, chart-based automated trading and also some of the major Amibroker key trading modules. So those are the things that we're going to learn in this specific session. So I hope the audio and video quality is good enough to kickstart. And all right, great. Thank you. So without further delay, let me pull up my Amibroker. So here is my Amibroker, which last time itself I showed that I'm using the latest version 6.93. That's a current latest version. And followed by that, I'm also gonna bring up my VS Code. So here is my VS Code here. I'd open up a new project, Algo-Amibroker. So inside that, I'm going to install OpenAlgo. I'm going to show you the right method to install OpenAlgo here. So first thing first, we will be trying to create a virtual environment, which is the safest way to create an OpenAlgo environment. So just type Python -m vnv. This will create a folder name called virtual environment. And once the virtual environment is got created, so here is the virtual environment. It's a isolated Python package where it's going to hold all the libraries which are required for the OpenAlgo to run smoothly. So I want to activate the virtual environment. I want to put a dot slash followed by that venv/scripts, give a tab, and then act. So venv scripts activate. So this is what I will have to enter as a command to activate the virtual environment. So once the virtual environment is activated, the venv is what you're going to see over here. Now it is time to install OpenAlgo. So you know where to find OpenAlgo. It is available in GitHub, or alternatively, you can also go to openalgo.in. From here, you can go and hit the GitHub link, copy the GitHub link, right? And then followed by that, I want to type git clone and then paste the URL, type enter. That will be automatically installing OpenAlgo here. So OpenAlgo got installed. Now, next thing is like you have to go to cd space OpenAlgo, and then enter into the OpenAlgo folder. Followed by that, we have to copy the .sample.env file. So cp space, cp means copy, .sample.env file. I want to create a new name, .env file. This is where I want to copy the content. That has been done. So I'll go inside and then I'll open up the .env file, which we copied. So here is where I'm going to set the API key and API secret key. This should be as per the OpenAlgo documentation. It varies for broker to broker. Right now, 22 plus brokers are supported by OpenAlgo. And all those things, you can see it in the documentation, right? So if you go to docs.openalgo.in, brokers, so you can find all those list of brokers over here. And very soon we are adding more brokers as well going forward. So today I'm gonna try with Angel. So let me go and follow the instructions over here. So you won't have to go and follow the instructions. I want to go to the developer portal. So from the developer portal, I'm going to go and get an API key, which I had already created. So I'm just gonna, in our previous session also, we had learned how to create the API key and API secret. So let me copy the API key. That's number one. And then followed by that API secret. In Angel, the API secret is not mandatory, but it's a good practice. We'll go and paste the values as well. Followed by that, these two are optional and it is required only for XTS based broker. And here I'm going to set like the broker name. I'm going to set like Angel. So ensure that the name should be from this list only, right? You should not create your own name. So ensure that it's from the valid broker list. So save it. And then now we have to go and install the libraries. So pip install -r. There should be a space has to be there. Followed by that, install, requirements.txt, RUQ, requirements.txt. Then type enter. That will be installing all the Python libraries inside the virtual environment, right? And once it is done, now it is good to launch the OpenAlgo. So we're going to launch the OpenAlgo now. So in order to launch OpenAlgo, you have to simply type python app.py. So the app.py, so if you could find here, here is the app.py. The app.py is the main entry point, and we are using Python Flask application for that. In fact, OpenAlgo itself built on top of Python, right? So we are using Flask as a web-based framework for that. Okay, so a lot of libraries. In fact, all the almost 100 plus libraries is what it's going to install. Typically, it will be taking anywhere between 1 to 1.5 minute or so. So once the complete installation is done, we can straight away, we can go and start the application. We can start doing the algo trading. Probably the entire process will typically involve like maximum 5 to 6 minutes. So 5 to 6 minutes of work, anybody can go and install OpenAlgo, and then they can start trading straight away, right? So in the meantime, let me also show you, if you go to the documentation, you can also find Amibroker modules as well. A lot of modules are there. So last time we discussed about the button trading module. We'll also discussed about the other modules like charting modules as well. Today also we're going to build a charting module, right? So here we have like equity exploration module and CSV exploration module. So today we're going to talk about how to make use of this equity exploration module. And we're also going to talk about the smart order chart module as well. So these are the two modules that we're going to talk about in today's session, right? Otherwise, a lot of modules OpenAlgo supports. So one by one, we'll talk about it. I think meantime, all the libraries got installed. Let me launch OpenAlgo by typing Python app.py, right? So enter, that will be starting the OpenAlgo. There are various ways you can start OpenAlgo. This is a traditional way of starting OpenAlgo. Once OpenAlgo is started, all the database will get initiated, and it will be running on the port 5000. So control and then click on that. Automatically, it opens up the application. So first time user, obviously it's going to ask for an username. So I'm going to create one. Right. So this is like TOTP authentication. If in case if you're forgetting the password, you can use that. So for time being, I'm going to skip this. Let me create one. Let me log into the application. It supports only one login ID. So I'm just gonna install it. So here is my client ID, which is gonna be my broker client ID, and then I'm gonna enter my broker PIN. The login procedure also varies from broker to broker. So if your broker login procedure is different, then you don't need to worry about that. Different brokers, they support different login procedures, right? And I'm gonna get the authenticator over here. So from my authenticator, I'm gonna get my TOTP. Once we are done with that, I just totally logged into the OpenAlgo. Now automatically the download, master contract download process also has been done over here. Now once this is done, now the application is completely ready to do an automated trading, right? Now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to build a simple strategy in Amibroker, and then I'm going to convert into an complete intraday trading system is what I'm going to build over here. So I'll quickly go and build one. So I'll go and create a new blank template. I'll call this like maybe since it is a simple strategy, I want to call it as a simple intraday strategy. It is so simple intraday EMA crossover strategy, probably with target and stop loss. With target and stop loss. Not just that, we will be doing more than that. We'll be adding some intraday controls. So how many signals that we should want to allow for that particular day. And I want to create we can use something like a simple ChatGPT to create a simple EMA crossover strategy, right? So I'm not going to do any manual coding over here. Of course, all these days, right, we started using ChatGPT a lot. So what reduced is like a lot of manual coding effort has been gone. So I want to say like write a simple EMA crossover strategy in Amibroker. right? So let's call that like 10 and 20 EMA crossover strategy, 10 and 20 EMA crossover strategy in Amibroker. So I'm going to get that strategy. So basically, I don't need any of those things. So set position size, you can use it if you want, but I'm going to use only the EMA values, buy sell rules, when to buy, when to sell. And of course, I also want to include short and cover also. I'm going to say like include short and cover. That's what I'm going to say here, right? I don't want any plotting over here. For timing, I don't want to include any plotting. So I just want this EMA entry condition, when to enter, when to exit. So when to short, when to cover, and also a bit of XRAM as well. This is the only thing that I want to over here. And here is my simple buy sell short cover trading system, right? But this is not intraday. This is kind of positional. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to add the indicator over here. So here is the indicators. I'm also going to add indicators. Added indicators over here. Along with that, probably I also want to include candlesticks as well. So I would like to have candlesticks. So I'm going to add a simple price-based chart is what I'm going to add over here. That's a price-based chart. That's going to add candlestick to that. So candlesticks, EMAs, and some simple strategy. Of course, first let me save this. I'm going to file save as. I'm going to put this inside OpenAlgo webinar, and then I'm going to say like part 2. Part 2 is what I'm going to keep it over here. I'm going to say like simple EMA crossover intraday strategy with target and stop loss. Target and stop loss. So building an intraday strategy with target and stop loss is something pretty simple only. So I'm going to show you how to do that very easily without writing a single line of code. And followed by that, what is required is like we need, first we'll go and try it out. Let's check with this AFL. It works good. And then let's go and do the analysis. I mean, let's go and apply the charts and see what we are getting over here. What we are getting. Right? So we're getting the candlestick charts, and along with that, we're also getting the EMA values as well. Now, by default, if you could see that there are no controls over here, right? And maybe we can add some controls. We can add a control like instead of 10 and 20, I'm going to add a control over here. So I'm going to call this like parameter 1. Parameter 1, which is nothing but param. So I have to give some name to that. I'll call this like length 1. Length 1. And then I have to fill the default value. Default value is going to be 10. Minimum value is 1. Maximum value is like 100. Step size is 1. And same thing, I'm going to duplicate as well. Let me quickly duplicate. Let's call this like 20, and that's going to be length 2. And I'm going to call this like parameter 2 over here, right? And instead of this 10 and 20 hard coded, I'm going to change it to parameter 1. And this one, I'm going to change it to parameter 2 over here. So simple EMA crossover is ready. We're not going to do any backtesting as of now because we are concerned only about execution. So first thing is like I need some intraday control. I'm going to add some intraday controls over here. It's pretty easy to add, particularly if it is Amibroker. So all you have to do is like just go for market calls, intraday module, Amibroker. Just type that. You will be landing on simple intraday module version 2.0 with target, stop loss, and it's also having some P&L dashboard as well. It's also having alert controls as well, right? So just scroll down. You'll be having this module. This is an all-in-one alert module we are having. Along with that, we're also having a lot of, it's kind of a plug-and-play module, which I had designed sometime back around, when exactly? 2022, right? So it's been like 3 years back I have to do this. So it's pretty simple. Just all you have to do is like just copy and then add to your existing module and you're done, right? So now if you go and apply, now you'll be able to see like, if you right click and go to the parameters, you'll be seeing the length 1 and length 2. You'll be having an alerts module. Using this alert, you can send an arrow alert, you can send an sound alert, even email alerts. But email alerts recently, A lot of security features has been implemented from Google, Yahoo, and Hotmail, and Microsoft had implemented. Every mail provider had implemented mail controls. So I think regular emails to Gmail could be a difficult one, but other alerts could be working fine, like voice alert or pop-up alerts, or even Telegram alerts. If you're having a bot with a channel ID, you can easily able to send it. And the best part is like you can control what time to what time you want to get the signal. So let's say I want to trade from 9:30 to 15:00. So any signals before 9:30 will get ignored. Any signals after 15:00, any fresh long signals or fresh shorting entry signals will get ignored. If at all any open positions are still running, by 15:15, it automatically close out any open positions. That will be automatically taken care. The only thing what you need to code is the strategy with buy, sell, short, and cover. So if you're having this buy, sell, short, and cover, then it's pretty easy for to code any kind of end of the candle strategies. Of course, by default here, the stop loss and target is not enabled. I can enable the stop loss as well. When I'm going to enable the stop loss, you're going to see that the stop loss levels, I can define it in terms of number of points. I can define it, right? Or I can define it in terms of number of percentage or in terms of volatility ATR as well. So that's the thing that we can define over here. So whether you want a stop loss, target, all those things can be done over here. So let's say I want to keep something like 100 points stop loss and maybe 200 points target, something like that. Intraday 200 points target is a bit crazy. But let's say something like, okay, for time being, we'll keep something like 5-minute time frame, right? We're going to have like 5-minute time frame. And there are also a couple of controls over here. Let's say I'll enable the stop loss. So once I enable the stop loss, you'll start seeing those stop loss levels. You can also disable it. You click disable, automatically goes away. You click enable, the stop loss will be enabled over here, right? Maybe since it is 5-minute, we can bring down to like 50 and 10. Sorry, 50 and 100. Right? That way, if the stop loss is hit, it will be exiting the position. The star, what you're seeing is nothing but exits. Whereas here, it is hitting the stop loss over in this case also. And of course, it's a simple moving average crossover strategy. So here, it is exactly this case over here. You can see that it's exactly the price action is exiting with a reverse crossover. If a reverse crossover happens, the signal will come to an exit. Or target is hitting, the signal will exit. Stop loss is hitting, then also the signal will come to an exit. So in this case, you can see that it's hitting the targets. Price opens with a signal over here. Straight away, it is coming and hitting the targets. So it's hitting a target-based exit is what happening over here. And of course, what is missing here is at the bottom, you are missing the date and time is which is missing. So which we can go and add it. And add set chart options, 0, chart show arrows, pipe symbol, chart show dates. And if I'm going to add that, I'll be getting the x-axis as well. So now I got the x-axis as well. So x-axis is there. I'm having a dashboard. I'm having the signals, right? So everything has been controlled. I'm also having the alerts as well. And I can also decide how many trades, how many entry trades. So if I'm going to say 2 trades, from an intraday perspective, I'll be able to control 2 entry and 2 exits. If I'm going to say like only 1 entry over here, it will be going to give me like only 1 entry per day. One entry per day is what it's going to generate, right? So it's up to you how many entries that you want to take. That you can decide by looking into that. So here that is like 1 long entry and 1 short entry. So here also 1 short entry and 1 long entry. So total 2 entries is what we can define it over here, right? So now it is pretty easy to automate. So now we have the strategy over here, right? So save this and then check for any errors. There are no errors so far. And the best part is now it is very easy to automate. Now, how to automate, I'll tell you. So I'm going to have an simple chart-based automation module. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to straight away go to documentation. So here is my OpenAlgo documentation. I'll go and select the smart order charting module, right? All I have to do is like I just have to copy it, and then I'm going to keep it separately, right? So I'll keep this separately over here. This is going to be a charting module. So file, save as. I'll go to OpenAlgo webinar part 2. I'm going to save this smart order charting module hyphen OpenAlgo. That's what the name I'm going to give here. And what I'm going to do is like this is also a module. So I'm going to assemble to that. So I'll show you the complete assembly process. So here is the strategy and here is the module. So I just simply going to copy the, I'm going to create a new one. I'll call this like file save as. I'm going to call this like my intraday automation module. That's what the name I want to give over here. So my strategy automation module, right? So which contains my strategy. Here's my strategy. It's a pure intraday strategy I'm having. And along with that, I'm also going to add my charting module as well. So this is an algo module I'm going to attach with my existing strategy. So ensure that the strategy contains only buy, sell, short, and cover. If it is defined properly, then it's pretty easy to automate any strategy, right? Absolutely. Till now, we haven't done any coding so far. And here we go. So this is the strategy. You can see like the one which says like algo is disabled by default. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to go and enable the strategy here. So I'll right click, I'll go to the parameters, and then I'm going to go and if you scroll down, you'll be having the OpenAlgo controls. So here I'm going to go and get the OpenAlgo API key, which you can go to OpenAlgo. So here is OpenAlgo. Go to the API key section and go and get the API key, right? So you can also see the API key as well. Just copy the API key and paste it over here. Ensure that you're not sharing the API key. In my case, I'm going to change it once the session is going to get over. Always there is a change button is there. So regenerate automatically changes the API key. If in your case, you don't expose it to anybody else, not even to your friends or to your any of your even to your close relatives, right? Because it is as good as like you are giving your bank key, I mean, or your home key to your friends or somebody else, which is more private to you. So I'm going to trade with a simple symbol over here, Reliance. Remember one thing, not every broker accepts live orders during after market hours. So when you're testing after market hours, not every broker accepts orders. Some broker may accept, some broker may deny. And that is the reason we also have an simple API analyzer over here. I'm going to turn on the API analyzer mode, right? So we can, when I switch to analyzer mode, any order I'm sending, that will be only shown as a kind of a simulation only. But any live orders, if you want to transmit, you have to again switch back to live mode. So at the top, you can able to see whether right now what mode are we in. Am I in a live mode or I'm in an analyzer mode? Very clearly, you'll be able to see over here, right? For time being, for today's session, I'm going to show you with an analyzer mode over here so that it will be very easy for us to see how the automations are going to happen. You can also use live mode as well, right? So first we'll do with live mode. Maybe the analyzer mode, I'll try to showcase you with scanners so that you can understand the difference as well. What is the difference between live mode and analyzer mode? Very clearly, you'll be able to see through that. So I'll go and enable the algo. So once all the settings is done, how many quantities that you want to trade. So I'm going to set like one quantity over here. And once that is done, I'm going to go and enable the algo module over here. Right? Once the algo module is enabled, I'm also going to enable the window. I'll go to the log section. So from the log section, I'll go to the trace tab and I'll ensure that these are like very standard practices. I'll go and enable the trace output. Internal and external logs are enabled by default. So that you'll get to see what Amibroker is communicating to the broker and what broker is communicating back to OpenAlgo or to Amibroker. You can very clearly see those information. So let me run the bar replay here. I'm going to show the simulation for May 16, which is like last Friday's one. Last Friday's May 16 is what I'm going to simulate. So if at all any signals are there, it should be converted into orders. It will not take much of a time. It will be fired in like kind of a split second. Within a split second, the order should get fired. If it is not firing, probably there could be some configuration issue. Almost it's going to deliver an EMA crossover. Let me also zoom it out so that very clearly we can see. So almost there is a crossover. On a closing basis, the signal will generate. As you can see that there has been a signal and the order has been delivered. And since it is an aftermarket order, so we're getting this order ID. I think probably it might get into a pending state. Right. So if you go and see in OpenAlgo, if you go to the order book, you'll be able to see that order has been shorted. Since aftermarket hours you're punching, it's getting into an open state, right? So that is what is happening over here, right? So if any signals which are happening, that will be automatically going to trigger like this. But as I said, it's not a good idea to test aftermarket hours. If you're going to test, you can consider using analyzer mode. So the same analyzer mode, I'm going to show you how it looks like. It is not going to enter into my order book. Rather, it's going to enter into my API analyzer logs, right? So I can validate whether the strategy is working fine or not. So the same thing I'm going to run over here. Another question is like how many charts I can run. You can run parallelly any number of charts. There's no limitation to that. Technically speaking, I think 25 charts you can run if you're having like multi-monitor. But more number of charts, if you want to run, the best idea is to use scanners. So which I'm going to show you how to use scanners as well. So right now we are in analyzer mode. So if any signals are going to happen, it will be firing the orders in the analyzer mode only, where you can go back and validate those things. Almost it's going to deliver a signal here. You see that the order has been triggered, and it also generates an order ID as well. And that same order ID, you can see it in the Play Smart Order. So we are using Play Smart Order ID to place orders over here, right? I can also go back and check whether the information is what information has been transmitted and what was the response OpenAlgo is providing, because API Analyzer provides an dummy order ID, right? This is not real order ID. This is not paper trading account. That's just a simulation of the API activities. That's why it's called as an API Analyzer. Am I getting a right information from OpenAlgo? It gives a validation. It says like the valid. That means if you tomorrow switch back to the live mode, and live mode, if you're trying to run, you should be expecting a same performance in the live mode as well, right? So that's what it's trying to do over here. So here also we can go back and see what really happened over here. So that way we can run strategies. As I said, you can also run multiple strategies also. But now the core focus is, let's say I want to run this in exploration mode. Same strategy. I want to keep on stop loss targets and all those things, right? So same parameters I would like to keep, but I would like to run it in exploration. Let's see how to do that. It's pretty simple and straightforward again. So if I want to run in exploration, first thing is like I need to have a portfolio of symbols. So let's say I want to select some 10 portfolio symbols is what I want to select. So I'll go to the charts or symbols. So I'll go to the watch list. I'm going to pick up an empty watch list over here. So let's say I'm going to have like list 2. I'll double click. I'll say like I'm going to give a name to that, intraday. That means these watch lists belong to intraday. I'm going to take some random equity symbols. Let's say Reliance, I want to trade. So I'll go to symbols and then I'll try to add that particular symbol. So Reliance, I want maybe let's say like a TCS, I want that symbol. So TCS also I'm adding. So I'm adding Reliance and TCS. Maybe I'll add a few more symbols as well. Let's say I want to add SBIN, I want to add, right? Maybe I would like to add something like Titan. Maybe I would like to add over here, Titan also. not just Titan alone, but let's say I'll add Maruti, right? Maybe I'll also add something like L&T, and maybe I'll also try to add things like Infi, right? I think so far we had like 7 symbols. I'm going to add 3 more symbols over here. Let's say ICICI Bank. Let's go and add an ICICI Bank here. And followed by that, let's say Grassen. How many symbols so far? 9. We have to add one more. Let's say Axis Bank. Okay. So I totally added 10 symbols over here. All the 10 symbols up to date data is what we are having. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll go back to the strategy. So here is my strategy. It's a simple plain vanilla strategy over here. So to this strategy, what I'm going to do is I'll go and add the equity module is what I'm going to add here, which you can find it in the documentation section. If you go to documentation, there is an equity exploration module. There's a pure equity exploration intraday module it is, right? There are 2 functions you're going to see always. One is internet function, another one is VB script module. As I said, the internet functions are modern function, which works if you are going to have Amibroker 6.35 or higher version. Maybe if you're going to use anywhere between 6.0 or up to 6.35, right? If you're using 6.1, 6.2 or 6.3, then it's highly recommended you go with the VB script module. Both are going to do the same work over here. Right? Nothing is going to much, there's not much of a difference that you're going to experience. So for timing, I'll go with the internet module itself. Just copy it and just simply add it to your existing setup. So that's going to be our scanner strategy. Exploration strategy. So I'll go to OpenAlgo webinar part 2, and I want to say like my strategy exploration module. So you can give what are the name to your strategy, but I'm just adding up to my strategy exploration module. Same simple EMA intraday crossover strategy. We're going to do with portfolio of symbols, not 1 chart, not 2 charts, but 10 charts we're going to apply simultaneously via exploration. So I want to send this to analysis, right? So ensure that there are no errors. Warning, if there is anything, you can ignore it, not an issue. And once that is done, go back to your Amibroker exploration. That this also opens up an Amibroker new analysis window. So here, first thing is like you have to go to the settings, ensure that what time you want to run this strategy. Let's say I want to run this on a 5-minute time frame. So select only the 5-minute time frame, press OK. And then here you just select one recent day. Followed by that, you also have to select the list of symbols. So here I want to select it from the filter, and there is a filter icon next to that. Select that filter, and that will be, so here we're going to see in the watch list section, I'm going to select my intraday strategy, which is going to select the 10 list of symbols which we had created right now. It's only is going to explore only all those 10 symbols right now. I'll give OK over here. Now, first thing is like checking whether the module is working fine or not. So I'll just simply click on explore. Remember, before clicking explore, you have to ensure that filter mode, set your watch list as a filter. So the 10 symbols, which is already there in the filter. Second thing, ensure that one recent day, right? And if you're going to trade today, obviously you have to select only one recent day. Means any signals which are getting generated today, automatically the signals will be sent to the broker via OpenAlgo. And followed by that, we also have to do the settings here. Here only we have to set the timings. So whether you want 5-minute, 3-minute, or 15-minute, what kind of settings that you want to scan, you can give it over here. Remember, this is only for trading. Maybe if you're doing for investments, then maybe you have to use an higher periods, right? Maybe something like hourly or something like that you have to adopt. And moreover, if it is investment, then you may not be able to use this module. This module is only for equity intraday module only. You have to rewrite it and you may have to enable DDPA as well, right? This is a pure intraday module only, not for positional. And that too only equity intraday module. So here, the periodicity, You can select. I'm going to select this like 5 minutes, press OK. And first thing is like you press explore. Now, once you press the explore, you should be seeing the trading symbol over here. Remember, this trading symbol is not broker symbol. Broker symbol could be different. Last series also we talked about that. This is OpenAlgo symbol. And what the symbol that you're getting in the ticker section is nothing but your uh, data vendor symbol. So some cases data vendor symbol and OpenAlgo symbol could be same. You don't need to mind about that, but you ensure that your trading symbol always matches with the OpenAlgo symbol, right? And now, if you are seeing this information and you're also seeing like long entry, long exit, B is buy, X is buy exit, and which is sell. Short entry is S, and closing the short is nothing but cover, which is C. So B is buy, X is buy exit, S is short, C is short exit or cover. And you should be able to see the trading quantity. Unfortunately, we are not able to see the trading quantity because the position size we haven't set yet. So all the settings, you can set it from here. So go to the settings. Here you can control everything from here. You can control how many number of trades that you want to limit. What is your start time, end time? What is the target, stop loss? Let's say I'm going to say like I want to have like half a percentage stop loss and target is like 1%, right? That's what I'm going to do. And by default, if I'm going to enable the algo, if I click, the algo will get enabled. By default, the target and stop loss is enabled by default. If you don't want, you can disable it. Followed by that, right? So once the indicator settings are and risk management settings are done, the next thing is like you have to go and set up the same API key you have to set, which exchange that you want to trade, whether NSE or BSE. So I'll go with the NSE itself. Price type is going to be a market order, and this points to the OpenAlgo server. And maybe if you're hosting in your own domain, then you have to post your domain details. You have to post over here where you are hosted your OpenAlgo. Intraday order is what is going to punch, and position sizing is what we are going to define. I'll say like for timing, I'll say like 10,000 rupees worth of position is what I'm going to take. Enable the OpenAlgo, set the OpenAlgo API key. So you know where to get the OpenAlgo API key. So go to the OpenAlgo again, go to the API key section, just copy it, and I'm going to paste it over here, right? So once this is done, now we are good to go. So we are done with the position sizing. Let's first test the position sizing over here. Click on explore again. You should start seeing the quantity. Ensure that this is like every position we are taking 10,000 rupees worth of position. I'm ensuring that no leverage I'm not taking in this 10,000. However, broker takes leverage, but I am calculating positions based upon the 10,000 rupees, how much worth of position which I can buy, right? Maybe every symbol with 10,000 rupees worth of position, let's say if the broker is giving 5 times leverage, we can multiply by 5 times also. If you want to increase your position, according to, let's say your broker is giving 5 times leverage, you have to increase your position size by 5, right? So means 50,000 is what you have to give if you want a leverage. So unleveraged is like 10,000 rupees means 10,000 rupees worth of position. Let's say in fee is trading at 1,000 rupees. Then I'll be able to trade only, even though my capital could be even more lesser. Even though my capital could be, let's say, like 2,000 rupees, still I'll be able to trade in fee. I can able to buy in fee. With a 5x multiple is the leverage the brokers want to give. So this is an unleveraged money. So 10,000 rupees, 10 shares is what the symbol is going to buy if it is 1,000 rupees worth of stock, right? So I'll set and I'll test that. I'm getting the quantity. That means things are working fine. I'm getting the trading symbol. Things are working fine. So these are the basic checks one have to do. Followed by that, we have to enable the auto repeat. So this is the most important thing. I'm going to enable the auto repeat here. I'm also going to set the AR interval. So here AR interval, I'm going to set like, I'm going to repeat every 1 second. Type shift enter. Automatically that is going to set the automatic repeat interval. AR interval is nothing but automatic repeat interval. I'm going to set it as 1 second and also ensure that auto repeat is on. Once that is done, right now it's time to click on explore. Now you can see that every 1 second, the screen will be keep on flickering. It's going to look for new information. Any new information, any new signal is going to happen instantly. If your algo mode is in on state, ensure that your OpenAlgo is in enable in a long, enable state. Enable means it will perform both long also, short also. You can also bifurcate whether you want to do only long only or short only. So here in this case, I'm going to keep it as enable itself, which means it's going to perform both long also, short also. If you keep it disabled, then even if any price signals are going to happen, no orders are going to get into the OpenAlgo. So I'll ensure that I'll enable the OpenAlgo, press OK. I see that the screen still flickering. It just keeps on looking for signal. Right now, markets are closed, so no new signals are going to happen, but still we can simulate the market activity. I'll go to bar replay. I'll ensure that I'm going to simulate the last Friday's price action. And also I'll clear the log so that you can see if at all any signals are going to happen instantly, you'll be able to see over here. And I'll also ensure that we are in an analyzer mode. Yeah, we are in analyzer mode over here. And let's click on play. So that should be starting that particular day. You can see that so far no signals. If any signals are going to happen, only signals will happen only from 9:30 onwards. That is what our settings are. Until then, the signals are not going to happen. Any signals which are going to happen instantly, the order will be instantly punched to the OpenAlgo. You see that Axis Bank, the order has been done. Did I received it? I should be receiving it. Yeah, you see that more orders are coming in, keep coming in. So Axis Bank, L&T. Axis Bank and L&T. Maybe I can do one thing. I can keep Amibroker on the left-hand side, probably. And OpenAlgo on the right-hand side. So simultaneously, you can see like whether the same signals, see that this is for Grasim. We are seeing Grasim over here. All three are sell. So all are like sell, sell, and sell. So quantity, it should be matching 8213. So the quantity should be matching here, 8213, right? So that is how it's pretty easy. It is. Once your strategy is ready, all you have to do is like you just plug into the module, do the settings. It's a monotonic routine settings over here. It's a one-time settings, set and forget kind of things, and rest of the things OpenAlgo will be taking care of it during the day, right? It's pretty simple and straightforward, nothing much. So I hope that clearly explains how to set up OpenAlgo in the exploration mode and how to build a simple intraday strategy, how you can run the intraday strategy in the charting mode, or how you can run the same intraday strategy in the scanning mode or exploration mode if you want to run for multiple symbols. So how many symbols you can run? If you ask me, you can go up to like 50 symbols in one shot in one single portfolio, right? Which means more also you can attempt, but sometimes Amibroker might slow down the more the number of symbols you're going to have. With 50 symbols, you can easily handle pure intraday strategies, or even positional strategies also can run through exploration very easily, right? All right, so let me pass here and we'll come back in tomorrow's session where we will be talking more about very interesting setups over here, right? So we're going to talk about option trading strategies, how to do using OpenAlgo. That's what we're going to discuss in tomorrow's session. And if you want to go live, as I said, you have to, all you have to do is like, you have to simply switch back to live mode, and you can run now any order that you're going to transmit that will be coming directly into your live positions, right? So I say thank you for coming by and attending the session. So see you soon with more interesting content. Thank you. Bye-bye.